go around watching that movie in places where it happened.
I guess that would be hard in Italy.
Yeah, but there's this group of people that love that movie so much, and I'm just surprised there isn't some kind of fan group for Ladyhawke. Like, maybe I'm just being nostalgic because when I watched it, it kind of blew my mind, and I don't know, it hit me right in the feels, I guess. But I think this movie is better than most that came out this year, like in '85.
I'm in agreement. I just think it's on that level where it's not a classic, and it's just a good movie. Does that make sense? It's just a good movie. Everyone thought it was a good movie.
Would you say this fits in the same slot as like a Willow?
No, because Willow has the Mad Mardigan. It has the special effects. It has the brownies. It has the CGI. It has the dragons, the blood, the battles, the scary imagery. It also was a kind of a bigger flop, and critics didn't really like it. But since then, it's built up this cult. So I don't think it's on the line of Willow in that regards. I think the two would make it. I don't know if the two would even make a nice back-to-back combo.
You wouldn't buy the double DVD of Ladyhawke and Willow?
Oh, I would do that in an instant. I'm just saying, like, screening them together. Like, you have poop falling on people's faces in Willow. You have just bonkers imagery.
Yeah, it is a bit of a more of a cheeky movie.
Yeah, and this one,
I don't know. I'm just.
I'm sorry if I'm bursting your bubble. I don't want you thinking that I don't like it less.
I just think in a world where, we have these groups of people that just like get together and like watch Monty Python in costume all the time, that there would be some kind of fan base for Ladyhawke.
I mean, look on Facebook. Is there a Ladyhawke group?
I'm looking right now in real time.
All right, right now in real time
on Facebook. And what do we got? Ladyhawke Fitness.
I'm assuming they'll be like in the fives, like at 14,000.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well then. So this movie.
There's Ladyhawke Fitness.
Yep.
And that's it.
I think this movie is just a good movie that wasn't. Maybe they could have done more with it, but at the end of the day, it's I don't know. So yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on it.
Yeah.
But I also don't have the strength of nostalgia that you have. I didn't see this until a few weeks ago.
Right. Which again, I think is a cool way. I love when I can say to you, "Hey, what have you seen this?" And you're like, "No, I've never seen that movie," and then I get to hear your response to it. So like Knight Riders was one, Youngblood was one, Ladyhawke was one. I like when that happens, Mark. That's maybe my favorite thing.
I went on to another podcast called the Forgotten Filmcast, and I talked about Knight Riders there too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I loved it. And so this movie though, it also got me thinking about crossbows, and I started thinking about my favorite like arrow moments or crossbow moments, because his crossbow is amazing. I would have to say my favorite archery moments are Hot Shots Part 2, where he shoots the guy with the chicken.
Yep.
I mean, that's brilliant. And
on the nose. Oh,
and also, before I forget, the guy who did the choreography for this movie is William Hobbs. He also did Willow and The Duelist, which is a very good Ridley Scott movie. And then he did The Count of Monte Cristo with Guy Pearce and Homeboy.
Count of Monte Cristo.
And Frequency.
Count of Monte Cristo was my first date with my wife.
Oh, nice.
It's a great first date movie.
Oh, it's so good. But the sword fights in that film. Now, I have another question.
So good.
The final battle scene at the end, I really dug when, they're fighting, and we haven't even talked about the curse. Like breaking the curse with solar eclipses, and if he kills the priest who made a deal with the devil, they'll be stuck like that forever. But then something happens, and then he thinks she's dead because she gets an arrow, but then he's mad and he goes and fights anyway with the help of Gaston. But
and the hidden sword under the wagon.
But huge sword, gigantic, and he throws it like it's nothing. That's the one part I didn't like. There's a scene where
if he would have spun the sword, like threw it and it flipped into him, you can't throw a sword like a spear.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the right angle. So he threw it straight into a tree, which meant he must have been ducking when he threw it. It didn't work. But the fight at the end is it's not brutal, but you can feel that they're both getting tired swinging these swords. And
it's very visceral.
Yeah, very visceral. And there's a time when the guy he's fighting, was it Ken Hutchinson? What's up?
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah. He takes this fall into a wall. Well, that rhymed. And I went, oof, that hurt. And then they were just swinging it. But all the swings, it was obviously choreographed, right?
Okay, so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Who do you think got hurt more? Ken Hutchinson falling into a wall, or Samwise Gamgee in Icebreaker in the kitchen fight?
Oh, Samwise Gamgee. So Hutchinson would never. There was no fear on his face when he hit the wall. So listen. If you and I get trucked and we keep a very stoic face, you and I get hit at the same time. We both get up and we're like, "You good? Yeah. You good? Yeah." We're both gonna know that we're hurt, but we're not showing it. Samwise Gamgee and an Icebreaker, which is another one of our episodes. Samwise Gamgee gets throttled. Like, he has the look of absolute fear, and he got hurt in that.
Yeah,
so
that,
I'm
that
thinking
hurt him.
Sean Astin got destroyed. Hutchinson's just this old, manly man's British guy, so I'm fine.
You know what I loved as a kid, and I still love every time I watch this movie, which is more often than it should be? Horses fighting in a church.
Oh, dude, Goliath.
Right?
What a great horse.
Are big horses. Those are big Dutch horses.
I love a big Dutch horse.
So Rutger Hauer was Dutch, and he wanted to have a Dutch horse in this movie.
Gigantic
because that
horse.
breed of horses is huge,
Yep.
but very mobile, right? Like it was the preferred horse of many medieval knights, actually.
And I guess that movie brought in a craze of those horses being used in movies.
Yes.
And also
it ushered in.
Yeah. Oh, sorry to jump on your horse. That horse fight was legit too. But they built that set for it. That's another great reason why that set is so cool.
Yeah, because you can't just bring two horses into a church and have them fight.
Yeah, I love it. No. Normally I don't like it when people wear hoods. When you watch movies, hoodies, they're meant to signify someone being tough, right?
Yeah.
But hoods should only be worn as, it's raining or like a statement. They shouldn't just be worn because you think you're cool.
Or if you're going to start a rap battle, you put your hood up.
Yeah, exactly. So this one, when Rutger Hauer's wearing a hood, I was like, he makes that work. He's one of the few people who wears an unnecessary hood and makes it work.
So here's the guys you can get away with wearing hoods like that. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Rutger Hauer and Jedis. That's it.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and there's a Star Wars connection here because they said that this TV show Rebels with Ezra and the two lead men in that show, their relationship was based on Rutger Hauer, Matthew Broderick in this movie.
Oh, sounds really?
Yeah, because he was like an old Jedi that was like training a young pickpocket to be like streetwise, and it's based right on Ladyhawke.
Oh, that's cool.
Which makes me feel really good in the heart.
I mean, maybe they need to lean into that more,
right?
Now,
more Ladyhawke references.
Now, what did you think about? We haven't talked about much, but Imperius. What did you think about Imperius? Like, he screwed over the duo. That's why they're cursed, because the jerk summoned Satan and turned them into a hawk. So she's a hawk during the day, he's a wolf at night. So, but right. I liked he studied everything about it, and he really was kind of drinking himself to death. And Leo McKern played him. He was drinking himself to death, and he was studying. He really kind of made amends for that. And at first you thought he was going to be like this, whoa, I'm drunk, ha, ha, ha. But he becomes really good, and he tells a great story, too.
Yeah, and I think he's the redeemed character in this whole thing. He's not a victim. He's not the new guy in the quest. He's the guy who did wrong, and he just wants to redeem himself. He just wants to be a good guy again.
Yep. And he does.
I think he does. He does it. And so I liked him. I liked all the characters. The ones that I hated, I was supposed to hate, I hated. The ones I loved, I was supposed to love.
I mean, Donner knows his stuff.
Donner knows his stuff. Like when you look at the Donner, like, filmography, man, like, it's all gold.
What about Timeline? I need to watch that again.
Timeline's good. It's maybe not the high mark, but like I think about like Maverick, where you take an old 60s TV show and then you just friggin' kill it as a movie.
So funny. And then Lethal Weapon.
And then know what the best part about Maverick was? In the last 45 seconds, you realize it's a sequel, not a remake to the TV show. And I'm like, you did it so good. Yeah, and all the Lethal Weapon stuff is so good.
I mean, the guy, someone called him a journeyman director, and I got kind of angry when they said it. But then I started thinking about it, and I don't like that label, because for some reason I feel like a negative connotation, but he did have a good journeyman-type career. I mean, he tackled horror with The Omen. I mean, if you look at his filmography, I don't think he's appreciated as he should be, because let's say you take his top 5, right? So you got Omen. What do you think?
Superman.
Lethal Weapon, Goonies, and what's 5?
It's a good question. So would you consider Superman 2 a Richard Donner movie?
No, because that had too many behind the scenes
Nonsense.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's a great movie though. That's a thing.
Right.
All right, so let's go.
Here's number 5 for me. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Radio Fly. Remember that movie?
Radio Fly is your 5?
Yeah, man, that was a good movie.
Well, what do you think about this? His top 5, according to Google: Goonies, Ladyhawke, Superman, Lethal Weapon, Omen. But I don't.
There's Ladyhawke in there, eh?
But I would probably chuck in Maverick, because that was a blockbuster.
Yeah, or Conspiracy Theory.
Yeah, that was another really good. So,
dude, he did Assassins.
That was a good writer on. Oh, he did 16 blocks. We're just looking at his movies, going, did he do that? Scrooged. Oh, so Scrooge, right?
Dude, you know what's crazy? I never looked into this before, but the Wachowskis wrote Assassins, and Richard Donner directed it.
Yep, that's what it was. I'm reading a book called Best Year Ever about the movies in '99, and that's how I remembered it. But yeah, so we got to put Scrooge in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as just being remembered.
Yes.
But you put those 5 up there. But then look what he has on the bench, dude. Maverick. Then he has Conspiracy Theory, at least for me. And Ladyhawke. Like, that's a strong bench.
Yeah.
And he did a ton of 100%. TV before that. So yeah, I don't think he's appreciated. And those movies live on.
Absolutely. Every movie he made as director, I think holds up, ages well, and in some cases, like Superman, is kind of timeless.
I think that's the way he directed it, man. I think your favorite word, so you want to say it?
Verisimilitude?
Yeah. So I think that's why they work, is just keep it real, keep it going, and it plays for a very long time. And it's kind of a bummer that Ladyhawke didn't get that, but I still think it's a fun picture, and I'm very glad I watched it.
You know why else I love Ladyhawke? And this is going to be maybe the cheesiest thing I've ever said, but I can watch it with my kids and the whole family can legitimately enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a family movie.
It's a family movie, and they did it really, really good.
It's a good picture. All right, so, you gonna do the Rutger Hauer primer?
So what we had talked about was I'm a big Rutger Hauer fan, and much like Ladyhawke, I feel like he kind of flies under the radar. And so I was thinking what we would do is we'd each pick 7 films that if we had to go back in time and recast with Rutger Hauer, what would they be like? We got to go cast movies with Rutger Hauer to make them better, to improve on the movie. You got to put Rutger Hauer in the driver's seat.
Oh my goodness!
Are you ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
You think you can handle that?
Yeah. All right. So you just popped this on me too, but I think I can do this.
Yeah. No. So this is just something I thought of like in the last day.
Okay.
I was like, let's see if we can. I think you and I, and it's open for discussion. It's going to be a free form stream of consciousness, but open for discussion.
Now, my first one that came to my head, and this is very weird. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy, but Virtuosity, starring Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. I would rather have Rutger in there as opposed to Crowe.
Okay.
Because I think he would have added a little bit different of a. I like Russell Crowe in that movie, but I just would have liked to have seen him against Denzel. I think that would have been big for him. But I also think that would have added a little bit more menace to the role, which would have been good for Denzel.
Yeah, no, I think you've nailed it right on the nose there.
It just felt right. So it's Virtuosity.
Virtuosity.
It's a really weird one, but I'm doing it.
It's a deep pull.
1995 cut.
Now, it makes you want to say Johnny Mnemonic next, but I'm not gonna. I would say Any Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood.
Whoa.
Now, it's very rare that I pull Clint Eastwood out of anything, but in a movie where he's playing second fiddle to an orangutan, I think Rutger Hauer could have brought the same amount of toughness as Clint with a little bit more humor, a little more wink at the camera, tongue-in-cheek humor.
Yeah, I could. I would just miss his fist fighting though, Eastwood. I would be interested to see his fist fighting, Hauer's.
Yeah,
I love it. Now,
well, what if Rutger Hauer played Philo Beto, but then Eastwood played Tank?
Oh my goodness, this is your world, man. I'm not stepping on it.
No, I'm gonna say that would be good.
I was gonna say Knight Riders, but that's cheating. I'm not gonna do that because I think
cheating.
Well, is it? I think he'd be interesting in Knight Riders.
No, I don't think it's cheating at all. I think you pull